Good evening. Did you know that 95% of Fortune 500 CEOs are former athletes? These high-status professionals know a thing or two about competing and performing. But what does sports mean for our character, the kind of person that we become? In developmental science, we're getting into the weeds of what sport, these competitive physical games we play, means for our character. As a developmental scientist, I study youth sport. And tonight, I'm going to give you one thing to pay attention to that matters for our young athlete's character. That one thing is the use of cognitive metaphors to conceptualize the opponent. How do they think about their opponent? Young people tend to do one of two things. Some young athletes engage a war metaphor, where they say things like, conquer the enemy, get in the trenches, destroy them. Other young athletes engage a partnership metaphor, where they say things like, we're helping each other by trying our hardest out here today. Turns out which of those metaphors our young people are using matters to some extent for their character. But what do I mean by character? By character, I'm talking about the capacities within youth that enable them to act in service of the greater good. Capacities to serve the greater good. In sport, there tends to be two kinds of character that matter most: performance character and moral character. Performance character is our abilities to do things well. This includes attributes like diligence, perseverance, grit, resilience. Moral character is our abilities to do good things. This includes attributes like respect, integrity, honesty, attributes I know Aggies know quite well. The reason we care about these two kinds of character is quite easily illustrated by thinking about two different kinds of people. Let's consider a person with high performance character and low moral character. This is our person that gets things done. They know how to work hard. But with low moral character, who are they doing that in service of? Certainly not the greater good. That's a little dangerous. Let's take the flip of that. Not as dangerous, but also not very helpful, is our person with high moral character and low performance character. This is our person that cares deeply about serving the greater good, about creating a just society. But with low performance character, they're not really getting anything done. They're not really making an impact. So what we want to see is people who are high on both of these, high performance character and high moral character. Now, sport is an interesting context for these two types of character because it's keyword competitive. But did you know that the Latin root of the word competition is to strive together? Not to strive against, like many people think, to strive together. Sport as a competition easily promotes performance character. We want to work hard, we want to win. But whether it promotes moral character comes back to those cognitive metaphors. My research has shown that youth who engage a partnership metaphor have better moral character than youth who engage a war metaphor. One of the reasons this happens is a phenomenon we call game reasoning. This is the idea that some youth treat sport as if it's just a game. They do things and say things in the game that they claim, oh, I wouldn't do that in real life. I did that in the game, not in school. But what my research has shown is that youth who are willing to cheat in the game, they're willing to cheat on the exam at school, they're willing to lie to their parents. Later in life, folks, these are the people that are cheating you out of your company. So in reality, sport is not just a game. There are short-term consequences of this game, winners and losers, but there are long-term consequences to life, and that's the kind of person that you become. As a developmental scientist and somebody that studies positive youth development, I'm always looking for ways to develop strengths in our youth. These cognitive metaphors give us one way to be intentional in designing our sport environments to promote moral character. As the mother of a young athlete, I think about this often when I talk to my kid about the other team. Am I using words that represent war, like destroy them? Or am I using words that represent a partnership, like by expressing gratitude for having strong competitors out here today? We're talking about morals here, folks, so the implications are big. Thank you.